Okay, so boom, you want to start a podcast. The very first thing you need to do is go to anchor.fm and download the Anchor app. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free 99. You can record from a computer or you can record directly from your phone, and it sounds amazing recording from your phone. Anchor is equipped with creation tools that allow you to edit your audio and even add sound effects. They will distribute your podcast on many platforms such as like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Best of all, you can monetize. Just as I'm recording this here sponsorship, you can do the exact same thing. And you can get a couple of coins every time someone listens to your podcast. So how cool is that? So go to anchor.fm or go to your favorite app store, download the Anchor app, and get started today. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
She do what she wanna do. She do what she wanna do. Ooh. She do what she wanna do.
She do what she wanna do. Lower to the grave, tell you like it is to your face. She don't play. Aries chick down for it all. Know that she a boss. No competition, no loss. From the Midwest to the A, Autumn got you tuning in, no delay. Ooh, get you right every time. Keep you laughing on a dime. Tell you truth, no lies. So you can live your best life. Cover all topics, no limits. Got something for your mama and your children, no holding back. No gimmicks, coming on strong, get straight to business. Oh yeah.
Do what she wanna do.
Live life, live life.
She do what she wanna do.
Live life, live life, live
Do
life.
what she wanna do.
Live life, live life,
She
live
do
life.
what she wanna do.
Live life, live life, live life. Live life, live life.
Hey, it's your girl Autumn, and I welcome you back to the Lit Life Podcast, where I encourage you to live your life autonomously. So today I have another special guest co-host, and I'm hype about it. I came across this young lady's podcast. I don't know how y'all know I be all over Twitter and, following everybody, trying to get everybody's name out there. So came across her Twitter account and decided to take a listen to her podcast and learned a lot about her just in chatting back and forth with her. But I'd like you all to welcome, as if you're in the room, Kay Reenea.
Hello, everybody.
Of the is it brutally honest or brutal honest?
It's
brutal honesty.
Brutal honesty.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
Podcast.
Hello.
Hey girl, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first ever interview type of podcast, because I normally do like the interviewing, so this is my first time ever actually being interviewed, so I'm excited.
Oh, okay, well good. Well, welcome. I'm glad I could be the first person to kind of put you on. It's kind of scary to do, right, at first.
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna lie, because you have to think about exactly what you're gonna say and make sure it's not corny and all that other stuff. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and I, when I had my first guest on the show, or one of my first guests on the show, it was kind of tough because it was just like, I just hope that I don't be rambling, and I hope that they're interested in whatever it is I have to say. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like butterflies both ways. But
Yeah.
after a while, you kind of get used to it. I mean, I still kind of have butterflies before any episode, really, even the ones I'm doing by myself. But I guess it gets a little bit easier, I guess you could say. But anyways, thank you for agreeing. I reached out to you after listening to your podcast, so thank you for agreeing to be on.
No problem.
So I just want to take a few minutes and let you introduce yourself, and you can let us know what you're doing. I don't know if you're in school or all the good stuff, aside from the bad stuff.
Okay, well, I am Kay Reenea. My real name is Shakana, but a lot of people can't pronounce that, so I just go by my nickname, which is Kay Reenea. I am 27 years old from Summerville, South Carolina. My birthday is next month on the 18th. I will be that big 2-8.
Oh, that's my mom's
currently
birthday.
in school. Yes, I'm currently in school. I go to Liberty University online. I'm getting my master's in teaching degree for middle grades education. I am a huge bookworm. I love sports, and that's pretty much about it. Oh, and I'm single, so that's pretty much about it.
All right. I mean, it kind of sounded like a nice little dating profile, like for real, for real.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, I was saying my mom's birthday is April 18th too, so that's easy to
Ah, she
remember.
late.
Yes, it is Aries season. No matter what the hell
Lord.
y'all got to say about it, but and we're gonna get into that actually here in a few. But I wanted to say I know I was when I was listening to your podcast, um they said you said something about being sick. Like I remember first I remember you saying it, then I remember you being on a timeline like, oh my God, I'm so sick because you were getting ready to start your new job. Do you think you had corona?
No, honestly I don't know. Like I said, it how I got sick was really wild because I got sick like on Super Bowl Sunday actually because I was supposed to start work that Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and I just got like it came out of nowhere.
Mm.
So, and I went to work. I didn't go to work that Monday. I went to work that Tuesday because I was like, I don't want to like start my new job and not try to come in.
Right.
So I went in and I like almost passed out. I didn't even last. I last like first period and maybe like 15 minutes within second period, and I just went home. And thankful enough, my every like my teachers and everybody at the school I am at currently now, they were very understanding and stuff. So it was like, you know what, don't worry about it. We can tell you're sick. Um, and they basically pushed back my start date for me like a week after the week I came back. So I was thankful for that. But honestly, I don't know. And if I did, I basically just killed it off by myself. Like I didn't even go to the doctor during that time. I just thought I had the flu. But my thing was I don't know how the hell I got the flu. But yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, it just made me think about it because my son, who is in Ohio, I
Mm-hmm.
remember he was sick in like end of November, beginning of December. And he had to, I remember him telling me, he was sick and he brought it up like, remember when I was sick, like back in December? He was like, I was real sick. I mean, just the way he was describing it all, I was like, oh my goodness, like I mean, it is possible you could have, you could have contracted it.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But anyways, so I'm gonna skip around on our little agenda for a second. And I'm gonna go
Okay.
ahead. We're gonna go ahead and go into the Shut the Fuck Up Award first.
Okay.
All right. So, for those of you that don't know, I have this award called the Shut the Fuck Up Award, and it's basically, how do I explain it? I mean, I guess it's pretty straightforward. Anybody that you've seen or you've been around, well, you really probably ain't been around nobody these last couple of weeks, but social media, TV, anything that you've seen, any group of people that you've seen, and you just kind of shook your head and was just like, I wish y'all would just shut the fuck up. That's how the award came about. So I always let the
Okay.
guests go first. Do you have a shut the fuck up award?
Yes, actually, when the whole social distancing started, like all the introverts was like, oh, I mean, I don't know how the extroverts are going to do this and blah 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 blah. I can tell anybody I'm an introvert extrovert. That means I like to have my alone time, but at the same time I like to go out and have my fun.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I was dying. Like I'm still dying in the inside because I do not like being in the house this long.
Mm-hmm.
So for everybody was like, well, that's why the virus is still out there because people don't know how to stay in, blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up. A lot of
Right.
people don't like being in the house all the time.
Like, mind your business. Like,
Exactly. Like my thing is like, okay, yeah, we understand that this virus is very very serious. We get that. But this is honestly a lot of extrovert people that I know, it's not like they don't like to be outside because they don't like their selves or anything like that. And I've seen a lot of things about that too. A lot of people don't like, a lot of people don't like being inside because they don't like themselves and they feel as if they have to have validation for everybody. That's not the case. Sometimes they don't like be inside because they probably don't have shit to do, or they probably get bored quickly, so they like to be outside. Not to mention, I live in South Carolina, so in spring just started, but it feels like summer. So it's going to be really gorgeous outside, and the fact that I can't go outside and have fun is killing me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you had the people you had the introverts that are like, oh, well, this ain't nothing new to me. I guess it was the same thing what you were saying, but yeah, they're like, this ain't nothing new to me. I'm gonna be good. It's just like, all right, bro, we know.
But you don't gotta post it and, express it every other 5 minutes. Granted, I expressed like since last week, I'm ready to get the hell out the house like that, but that's just how I feel. Like, Don't tell me, well, you need to stay inside. No, the fuck, if I don't know. I mean, I understand I want to, but I don't want to.
Right.
So that's my shut the fuck up award. People who telling people you need to stay inside, or that, their extroverts are dying in the inside. Yeah, we are.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Thank you.
A good one. So my shut the fuck up, because if you're listening to this like 10 years from now, like it's March of 2020, and y'all probably have learned about it one way or another. We're stuck in the house because there's like a pandemic going around, like this COVID-19 coronavirus. So that's basically anything that you're going to hear, any podcast, any news, anything that you're going to hear from 2020. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're referring to. So anyways, my shut the fuck up award. And I typically don't like too much talk about like politics or whatever on this show. If somebody else brings it up, then they do. So I hardly ever talk about like political figures on here. But today I have one, and I would like to tell the governor of Georgia, Governor Kemp, to shut the fuck up with his half-ass stay-at-home order. So here's what happened. So, basically they're not trying. Every state is not trying to shut completely down. Right. They're giving you options, they're asking you to stay at home, but there's no like actual stay at home order. And the president and his administration has not issued like a nationwide. So again, it's state by state. But the thing that I've been saying about this virus is, if indeed it dies off, or if after you put yourself in quarantine for 2 weeks, why not just make everybody shut down for 2 weeks? Like, even if it's on like kind of like a rolling state type of ordeal or something, but just where there's enough people staying in, kind of like by force, there's enough people staying in for those 2 weeks, then we know that those people, it's died off in them, right? According to whatever research has been done. So
yeah.
So the mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, Black woman, she she came out the other day and was like, I'm prepared to put a stay at home order in for the city of Atlanta. So, and a lot of times when the city of Atlanta does things, like a lot of the other little cities or, start to follow along or whatever. And the day that she said this, like, I want to say it was the same day or the next day, Governor Kemp reaches out to her and says, hey, can you not do that? Can you wait until 5 o'clock when I have my press conference? And then,
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass serious. Basically, he was like, hey, it was on the news. They were like, yeah, Governor Kemp has asked Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms to not, put her stay at home order in until after he's had his press conference. So I'm like, bet I'm about to watch this press conference, because the feeling that I had was he didn't want her to do it first. Like, he wanted to be the one to do it. So he's going to go ahead and get on here and he's going to do this, which is stupid, but whatever was going to get the job done. Right. So he gets
Mm-hmm.
up here at 5 o'clock on yesterday or day before yesterday and was like, yeah, so basically I'm going to put this stay at home order in for people who are at risk of basically dying. So it's just people that probably ain't going outside no way. People in, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
People in nursing homes, if you're frail, if you know, have some sort of autoimmune disease, anything that's that you are, more likely to be a fatality. Everybody else is cool. Yeah, he put in, I think he said all of the restaurants and all that stuff were already like on the takeout orders. And, it really wasn't nothing. Like you really, I'm pissed off because you wasted my damn time because I decided to go ahead and watch this stupid ass press conference and you go through this whole thing for like 10 minutes before you even get to what the hell we're here for, and you've wasted my time. So for you to get up here and give us this half-ass stay at home order, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just so stupid.
My thing is, why would you take the black lady shine?
You know.
Like, I don't understand that. If she already posted the thing on there, why would you just like, okay, well, we got one of the major cities in Georgia. Let's follow her. Instead of like, oh no, let me get my shine first, and then she could say that she said it after me. The fuck?
Follow a black woman? No. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was pretty pissed off about that. But anyways, he could shut the fuck up twice. So speaking of, again, Corona, it's Aries season, right? It's a good thing that I was able to get another Aries on the show.
Lord.
So, I mean, I have to break this to people every few days and let them know that, Aries is the top tier of zodiacs. You know what I'm saying? They don't really be.
I tell them like this every time they try to play us: there would be no you without us.
Facts.
That's what I say, and they shut down real quick. Like, there's no you without us. Like, okay, just let's like.
That is a fact, and we're always the ones that. I mean, it's the beginning. It's the actual beginning of the year for real. For real, we come through during spring. Which is a very exciting time of the year. But people are trying to cancel us right now because of Corona. I'm like, so y'all just gonna straight up say, and actually it's like other Aries. They're like, man, we might as well just shut Aries season down. And every time I see somebody say that on Twitter, I have to tweet back like, we ain't going no motherfucking where. Like,
Joe ain't.
Nowhere. Still gonna find a way to turn up, even if it got to be virtual or whatever. We're still gonna we still celebrate the entire however many days it is. That's just what we do.
Facts.
Like, so I don't know, have you been seeing any of those tweets?
I have, and I posted one, but then my homegirl was like, nope, don't even see it. Delete it. Delete. And I said, okay, I'll delete it.
Nope, girl, no. I mean, and
because she's an Aries herself.
Yeah,
so
and
she made me delete it.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, at first I was like, all right, so this about to be stupid. But and I don't know if you know, there's an event going on in Vegas called Smoke Free Weekend. So Smoke Free Weekend was supposed to be April 16th through the 20th, and that was my birthday celebration. Like, I've never been to Vegas, and I was just like, I think, I hit my homegirls up like, y'all trying to go to Vegas? Like, what y'all trying to do? So we've been hyped for months and months about this. And then they had to reschedule it. Like, it's rescheduled for for like July. And just like I was talking to one of the organizers last night, Black Paco, like just like he was saying, he's like, I mean, he was like, Autumn, we could have still flew out there, but it ain't gonna be nothing to do. And I'm like, right. It's good that we're gonna go ahead and just wait it out, and we'll do it that way. But I can't say, I was that had me down, like literally for like 1 or 2 days. Like, damn, now I was supposed to really, really turn up for my birthday. But then I was like, you know what? I'll just it'll still be Aries season. Like it's gonna be Aries season until I celebrate my damn birthday. Like that's just how it's got to be. Like I don't care what's going on everywhere I go and be like, it's my birthday, like throughout the end of the year. So now y'all got to deal with Aries being all goddamn year. So
yeah, basically.
so that's how that's gonna go. So anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna come back and get into the topic. All right, we are back after a short break. So again, I got my girl Kay Reenea of the Brutal Honesty podcast with me hanging out today. And I brought her on after so I was listening to your podcast, and I listened to an episode where, but actually I listened to a few episodes because like your episodes are kind of on the short end, which is actually good because then you could just listen to them, you know, you can just keep listening to them or whatever, like catch up all at once.
I try to keep it that way. The only time I really try to like, you know, make it like an hour or so if I have guests on there. Yeah.
And I've kind of navigated to that, like after my first season, and I started changing things up. I was like, okay, when I do episodes by myself, I'll try to keep them to like 30 minutes. But excuse me, but when I, you know, just like what you just said. But anyway, so I was listening, and I just so happened to, I can't even remember the name of the episode, but I just so happened to click on that episode, and it was like something around Valentine's Day this year. And you were telling us about, you know, how you spend Valentine's Day, and you.
Oh yeah, it was where is it at? It is Living Your Truth.
Yes,
I believe.
Episode.
Okay, yeah.
Season 2, episode 7. I just finally found it too.
Yep.
So, and you. After, I think it was after you took your break and came back, and you started talking about living your truth, and kind of a little bit about how you came to grips with living your own truth and living your coming out as being bisexual, right? That's what the episode was about. Okay. Yeah. So I'm listening to it, and it made me listen to a few more episodes because I kind of was just trying to learn a little bit more about you, which is when, you know, I found out just listening, kind of found out how old you were and all that good stuff. And I felt like I was kind of listening to my younger self. So
wow.
I know, like I tried to figure out another way to explain it, because I'm 40. I'll be 41 April 1st.
Okay.
So it, like, you reminded me, it was like almost every single word you said, every point that you wanted to make about living your truth at that age, because you're 27 now. You really made me think about myself. Now, I don't know if you really know, like, what the motto of this show is. Like, it's living your life autonomously, which I know I get on here and I clown and we're funny and we're doing this, that, and the other, but really my podcast is about being able to be yourself without worrying about anything that anybody else has to say about you, or anything that anybody thinks about you, or what social media might have to say, or what, you know, your church, the people at your church might have to say, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always about, like, let's not live for Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not trying to live for the book or for the gram. Like, you need to be your true self, and to see or to hear someone, you know, at a younger age to say that, it just kind of made my heart warm. So first of all, I just wanted to tell you congratulations on being able to find yourself and live the way that you want to live.
Well, thank you. That makes me feel so sad. I just about to make me cry.
Oh God, we ain't about to be crying. Oh Lord, I knew it. And I told myself, I said, watch we be on here crying. But no, for real. Like I commend you. Yeah, I commend you on that. So I wanted to first kind of ask you, and I'm gonna actually tell my story too, and this will be the first time that I've like really told my story. So but
okay.
I wanted to know at what age, or what do you remember about being attracted to women prior, you know what I mean? Like what can you remember? Like how far back can you remember, and what do you remember about it?
I think I was probably 17 or 18. I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
And there was this girl, I can't remember. I think she was like, I think she was like a junior or something like that. She's younger than me. But I always saw her, and I always would tell her she is so beautiful to me. And she was like, oh, thank you, blah, 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 blah. And I never got like, you know, her number or anything like that. We weren't friends or anything, but I would just stare from a distance. Whenever she walked into like the cafeteria, I would always stare at her. And it just made my heart flutter for some reason. I was like, why am I doing this when I like dudes? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I just like, you know, let it slide, whatever. And then maybe around the time I was probably like 19 or probably like 19, 20, or it might be probably a little bit older than that. I really can't remember. I was on Twitter, and I was this girl that I met through Twitter, and me and her would flirt like heavily, like all the time. We exchanged numbers. We were flirting back and forth, calling each other on the phone for hours, blah blah blah. And I was like starting to catch feelings for her because she was bisexual, and I was catch feelings for her, and you know, vice versa, and it's and that. But I will always tell her, like, no, I'm not bisexual. I will always deny it. I was like, yeah, I think you're cute and I like you, but I will always deny it. But, you know, I just got to the point now where, like I said, I'm about to be 28 next month, and I will always, you know, catch myself looking up, like looking on Instagram, looking on like gorgeous girls and liking the pictures or Twitter and stuff like that. And I was just like, why am I afraid to be who I am? Like, I've always been wanting to be what people saw me as instead of me seeing me for my own person. So the first person I told that I was bisexual was my best friend Ace, and he was just like, congratulations for coming out, but I already knew you were.
Most people do.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because majority of my friends, my other best friend Shay, she said the same thing. She was like, well, I already knew you were, I was waiting for you to tell me, and this and this and that. And she was like, I wanted to ask you, but I've been wanting to ask you, but I didn't know how to ask you because I didn't want you to be offended or whatever. So I told my friends first, and all my friends were either like, they were very supportive, or they were like, we already knew, but we just wanted for you to come out. Next person I told was my mom, and you know how mothers go. She was shocked at first and kept asking me 1,000,000 questions. Well, how do you know? Are you sure? And stuff like that. And then she was like, well, regardless of the situation, whatever you know, whether you bring a woman home or a man or whatever, as long as they treat you right, I support it. And my dad was the same way. My brother was nonchalant about it. He was like, all right, well, I'm going back to my game.
Right. How old was he?
So, you know, yeah, my brother's 22.
Okay.
So he was just like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Love you, sis, whatever, blah, blah. So now that I am, you know, out in the open, happy about it, I feel so much better. I feel a lot more, you know, with, like, still trying to figure the ins and outs of myself or whatever. But I have that side of me that's out in the open. I'm happy. I've honestly have had girls that has hit me up and was like, "Oh, I didn't know. Like, I kind of figured you was, but I wasn't sure." And so I have had a few girls slide in the DMs, but it just what it was, slide in the DMs, nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
I haven't really been out as I could really say, as far as like seeing getting to know other people, far as meeting other girls because of this virus. So, and I'm not really big on the dating apps either. I don't know what is it about me, but I attract white people.
Well, girl, we all do.
And no offense, I love I love white people, but I just love a black girl, like a black woman like me. So, but yeah, so I think I was 27 when I actually came out, but I think I've been attracted to to the opposite sex since I was 18.
Okay. So kind of walk me through some feelings, like how, I mean, okay, you kind of briefly said you would deny it, but like what's going on in your head? Like, do you feel like, how do you feel about that feeling? Like you were denying it, you knew it was there, but you were denying it, but how did you feel about it? Like, was it a scary feeling, or like, do you understand? Am I making any sense?
Yeah, it was honestly it was a scary feeling because I didn't know I felt that way towards girls.
Mm-hmm.
So it was super scary. And there was this one time where I think I was about 19 and I did have a talk with my mom, and I did ask her, how would you feel? Like, I was like, how would you feel if I brought like a girl home? And she was like, what she meant, like, what if I like started dating a girl? She kind of was like very passive aggressive with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, and I like, ever since then I dropped it until until now.
Mm-hmm.
So it got to the point where I was like, oh, okay, well, if I do bring a girl home, what if they're gonna like throw me out or get real religious on me and throw me out the house, and now I have nowhere to go? So it was more of a scary feeling to come out more than like exciting one,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense, because I didn't know how people would treat me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, I always lived my life for the validation of others and not myself.
Yeah.
So I honestly thought that if I would have told them back then that they were going to kick me out of the house, or and stuff like that. So yeah.
So okay, so in hindsight, do you think timing made a difference? Like, do you think that had you actually told them back then, do you think that their reaction would be different?
I honestly can't say. I think if I would have told them back then, I'll probably be a lot more confident within myself and not caring what other people had to say about it.
Okay.
I feel as if I don't want to say time is of the essence, because that's really not the case in this situation. But I feel as if I would have told them back then, I probably would have. If I would have told them back then and probably explained it to them, I probably would have got, I want to say, more acceptance, because I got accepted regardless, but I probably would have felt a lot more comfortable rather than holding it in for so long.
Okay. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. So is there anybody in your circle of friends and family who, after you came out, didn't treat you good, or didn't approve and made it known that they didn't approve?
No.
Well, God, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Like I said, my godmother, she's very religious, so I haven't told her yet, but I really don't. I rarely talk to her on the regular anyway. So I think if I do tell my mom's side of the family, they will probably go off with me a little bit. But my dad's side of the family, when I do, because I haven't really seen them, but when I do tell them, I know they're gonna be very supportive because my dad's sister, my aunt, she's gay,
Mm-hmm.
and then her daughter is gay, and I have two other cousins that are gay as well. So I think when I do tell them, they'll be very, very acceptive of me. I only have one family member on my dad's side who's like against it, but he's a Trump supporter, so I really don't listen to anything he got to say anyway. But but I keep it very distant with him. But and it's funny because he came to me one day. I remember I'll never forget this. We were outside, and I live in I kind of quote unquote live in a country city, but I live around family. And we was outside one day, and he asked me, why am I single? And mind you, this is before I came out.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you don't got a boyfriend? And I was like, no, I'm just doing me, blah blah blah. And he was just like, well, you don't got no girlfriend, do you? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh, okay, just making sure. I don't want you to be like your other cousin, your aunt, dating a woman and stuff. And I was just like, nigga, what?
Right. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I was like, shut the fuck up, award. I was like, nigga, what? I was just like, okay, whatever. But, I think when I tell my dad's side of the family, they most likely will not care. But if I tell my mom's side, some of them, not all, but some of them, like probably like the older generation, like my mom's age family, like, members, you're like, well, why is that? Are you sure? Blah, blah, blah. But like I said, I barely talk to them on a regular. I rarely see them on a regular. So if they did, hear that I am bisexual and they didn't hear it from me, I could care less what they say because I'm living my life. I'm living my truth. And it is what it is.
I know that's right. And I am proud of you for it.
Thank you. But like I said, with my my close circle of friends and like the family that I did tell, they were very supportive of me. So
that's what's up. That's good. And honestly, I know again, times are changing rapidly, and there are a lot more people now that are a little bit more accepting because and I mean I don't know why, but I guess just because they're just like, you know what, it just kind of is what it is, which is great. But because we do tend to hear about the bad stories more than the good stories, so but yeah, that's awesome. But so my story so long ago. So back in 2001, I was 22 years old, I think. But even before, so I have to go a few years before that, to when I was 8. I had turned 18, or might have been 19, and it was for me. It was literally a curiosity, but it wasn't like I didn't want to be honest, like to be completely honest. I did not want to be in any type of relationship with a girl. I just wanted to have sex with one. So, because I was just curious about it. Yeah. So I did it, and it was cool. Felt like I got it out of my system. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. I mean, I don't think I felt one way or another about it. Like it, I was just like, whatever. So then, in 2001, like I said, I was 22 years old. I'm looking in the newspaper, and cause that's what we did back then. And I don't even know why. Like, I'm trying to look, I think I was looking in the classifieds or something. I can't even remember. It had to be in the classifieds. And I saw a ad for the National Women's Football Association. And that they were starting the National Women's Football Association, and that my hometown of Toledo, Ohio was going to have a team. And so football is my jam. Okay. my jam. I was like, oh, I'm about to go try out for football. Like, I was so dead serious. I'm like, I'm about to go try out for this football team. So I'm telling my mom like, why would you do something like that? I'm like, because I want to play football. So my sister, she's saying the same thing, but my sister's husband, my brother, he's like, man, this gonna be, this gonna be fun. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the time my son was 3. Well, I think he was 3. So, I'm like, I'm gonna go play football. So I went, tried out, made the team, started, conditioning and things like that. And back then we had Yahoo, we had a Yahoo Messenger. Yahoo had a messenger.
I remember Yahoo Messenger.
Okay, so you remember the groups? They used to have the Yahoo groups or whatever.
Those,
So I'm in this Yahoo group. I don't even know what group it was. It had to be some general like Black folks group or whatever. So I'm in there and I was about to say I'm in there tweeting. Girl, I'm in there in the chat room because it reminds me of Twitter, like it really does in some cases. I'm in the chat room and I'm telling everybody in the chat room like or asking them like, where are y'all at? Like, do y'all have football teams and all this, that, and the other? So started talking to had met this girl in there, and she was saying she lived in Detroit, and which was 45 minutes away from Toledo, which is where I'm from. And she was like, she says something about she knew that there was a team in Detroit, but I don't think that they were taking any more people, which, just to give some context, like Detroit's team won everything every year. Like,
oh wow,
them girls, like we want. I mean, like when we played Detroit, they blew us the fuck out every single time. I'm talking like by at least 40 points. Like they blew us out every time. Like they were, yeah. And so, but their team was stacked. Like they had so many people on their team, so they didn't really have. You know what I mean? Like if you weren't like a return coming back of a player that's coming back or anything like that, a lot of times they just didn't even have any more room for you on the team. So,
oh wow,
she and us, we struggling. Shit, we struggling to get half 11 on the damn field at any given moment. So, I was talking to her. She was like, "Oh my God, you play football, man? That's dope." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "You should come play for us." You know what I'm saying? Like, you should come play for us. And she was like, "I'm gonna come to a game." Blah blah blah. And I think she came down for a game or whatever. But her and I had started to kind of just like you and the girl on Twitter, like just talking as friends. You know what I'm saying? Like literally as friends. Like there was no intent there or nothing. I mean, like I thought she was attractive, but it was never, you know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't really like thinking on that level. But the more time that we spent with each other, and the more time that we talked on the phone, and the more time that we, I'm starting to go back and forth to Detroit, hanging out with her and she actually had a twin sister, and like their friends, like just hanging out. It was like, I think I like this girl. Like, yeah. I think we like each other. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't think that, we started flirting real heavy, and I don't know if we like, it's like just, if it was like, if we ever really just came out and said like, or she asked me or I asked her. I think it just kind of happened. Like we was like, all right, bet we go together. That's just that on that. And, and that lasted, I don't know, maybe a year, maybe a little over a year. Kind of had a bad falling out, but I love her to pieces. Like now, I mean, she's one of my Facebook friends and whatever, what have you. But that's just I feel like for me, it really did just kind of happen. And I hate when people say stuff. I hate that phrase, but I feel like it really did just kind of happen. And it kind of made me think, like when I was asking you about those feelings, I'm like, well, why I know that I have gone through this whole thing where I wanted to have sex with a girl, and I did that, but it's just like, okay, never did I think that there would be like a girl that I like that I would consider dating. And then too, thinking about what people are going to say, how people are going to look at us, and all this, that, and the other. And so for my family, so when I joined the football team, and I was always doing different stuff to my hair. First of all, let me just preface and say that. But when I cut my hair off this time, because it wasn't the first time, but when I cut my hair off this time, during the time that I'm playing football, I'm starting to get questions. Right. I'm starting to get, like my mom's like, yeah, why would you cut your hair off like that? And you need to put some earrings on. And, like, I don't know. So you're playing football and like, she said something on the lines of playing football, like playing football means that I'm gay. Like she said something like that. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't. It was
negative
like,
or anything.
Yeah, it was harmless, but I do remember her, remember having a conversation. And I'm just like, and but whole time thinking, now that's something else that's in the back of my head. Like, is that why that's not why, because I'm around all of these like, aggressive like studs, like I'm around all these women, what I'm saying, who I know for a fact like women, like, is that why? And I still didn't feel like that was it, because I wasn't attracted to any of them, you know what I'm saying? So the questions and stuff started coming in. So then I can't even remember, like I just remember taking her to my mom's house. I don't think my mom had ever met her. And I remember bringing her to my mom's house, and like, just kind of like the look on my mom's face, which it wasn't like a look of disappointment or anything like that. It was just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay.
Was it more like a look of shock?
I don't think it was shock either. Like it was, and I never did say, oh, like, hey mom, this is my girlfriend. Like it's like, I didn't even have to say anything. It was just, she was just like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that. And it wasn't, it wasn't like she was disappointed or anything like that. It wasn't anything, bad or anything. And it wasn't like that for me either. Like I didn't have anybody that any of my family or whatever that was like, why would you do that? Or giving me the third degree, or you need to go to church, or, what I'm saying? I mean, my mom is very religious, and of course she's always gonna, put the religion out there like that. But it wasn't, I didn't have a bad time with it. And I thought that was cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's cool. Now,
that's dope, honestly.
Yeah, and now a couple of my friends, though, I did have a couple of friends that kind of acted funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that there was chatter, like, as people started to find out. And just remember, like, this was 19 years ago, so, social media wasn't really. Yeah, so it was like, I'm sorry, these people going down my street are loud on this bike. I don't know if you can hear it or not. But anyways, oh, good. So yeah, it was, as news is traveling, you know what I'm saying? People just start moving a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just tell that, certain people's energies was just different. So, I mean, and that's cool. Feel however you feel, like, it is what it is. But that's kind of like how it really all came out. It's kind of similar to yours, right?
My thing is with friends, like if I had friends that were like that, or it was like, are you sure? And this and this and that. I mean, to me, that would just tell me right then and there, like that's not the friend that I need to be in my life.
Right. At this point in time. Right.
Yeah. If you can't accept me for who I am, like I accept you for who you are, then I don't need you to be in my life like that.
Right. And that's why I said, okay. I was cool with it. Like, all right, it is what it is. You tend to roll with, the people in your circle. Your circle tends to change over the years. Like I can definitely say that. And, people are in your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime. And a lot of times it's not for a lifetime. A lot of times it's for a reason. So,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I had a current issue like that. Going back to my birthday, I was supposed to meet this dude for the first time. We've been talking for 2 years, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, shit happened. He kind of just dropped the bomb on my ass back in January. So I just canceled my trip finally. Wow. And, not talking to him, or I kind of cut him off because of the situation, because I really was hurt about it. And a friend of mine, I told her about it, and she was just like, well, I still think you should go, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why would I go when you know the whole story?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she, like, and ever since that whole situation that happened, me and her relationship is tainted, and I will say damaged. And I try to try to mend it, whatever, but I just have to realize that, because a lot of people know I'm a fixer. Like, I just can't say fuck you and move on if something happens, especially if I know you for a period of time.
Mm-hmm. And that's different from what Aries do, because
I know, trust me, I know.
Very different.
Like, I'm a fixer. I have to fix it, or try to my best to fix the situation before I just could say completely end it. And I tried doing that with her, but from what I see now, I feel as if that situation is just basically dead and gone, and I just have to move on with it. Mm-hmm. But like you said, when people are there for a reason, season, a lifetime, I feel as if she was just there for that particular time in my life. And now that I'm about to move on to a new chapter, I just feel like I just need to leave her in this chapter and move on with my life. So it's just kind of, I knew it was kind of off topic, but
that's fine.
Brought that.
No, that's cool. But
just brought that back full circle.
Yeah, I feel it. So for me, that was like 18, 19 years ago, right? And over the years, I've had an opportunity to learn a lot more about myself, and to be as open and honest with myself, because you gotta be open and honest with yourself first before you can even attempt to think anybody else is gonna believe your crap, right? So
amen.
Over these years, I've had an opportunity to sit with myself and this whole sexuality thing, and there's a whole lot of different or new terms that if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, I have not really kept up with, but I've kind of, I think over the years I've kind of gone not really back and forth, but just kind of questioned, because I don't like to be put in a box. Let me start there. I don't like to be put in a box. I'm really not huge on labels when it comes to things like this. So I didn't feel like by me saying that I'm bisexual, I didn't think that really fit me all the way, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's because primarily I date men when I do date, girl, because who dating right now? I'm not.
Facts. I'm not either.
So primarily I do date men, and then over the years I've come to realize, like, I can look at a woman and really, and be attracted to her. Like, I couldn't say, oh my gosh, she's fine, or she's pretty, or whatever. But I never really have a it's not like I'm trying to date her or have sex. I'm not trying to have any type of relationship with her. I just, they, I'm like, damn, they fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still very much so attracted to women, but I don't necessarily date women. So you see what I'm saying? Like on
no, that makes perfect sense.
I'm not
that
like seeking out to date women is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so,
but if it happens, it happens.
If it happens, it happens. So
yeah,
I was on this website that I'm not gonna name on here, and I saw the term heteroflexible. Have you ever heard that term?
You know what? I have heard that term because my best friend, my best friend texted me and told me that, and I was like, what the hell is that?
Right. So there's heterosexual and there's it's not heterosexual. What did I just say? Heteroflexible. Heteroflexible and homoflexible. So heteroflexible means that you primarily date the opposite sex, but you are not opposed to, like, you're attracted to the same sex, but and you're not opposed to dating them if it happens. Just like you said, if it happens, it happens. But you're not really looking to, you know what I'm saying? It's not something that you're just like, oh, I'm about to go pick up a chick. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing that. Yeah. You're still like primary. And I know that some people, on the flip side, the homoflexible is you date the same sex. You prefer to date the same sex, but you're not opposed to dating the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. So, and people will say like, well, like, what do you mean? Like, you're just not opposed. Like, what do you mean that you prefer? And I'm like, it's just what I prefer. Like, I know it might kind of sound, it's not like I'm saying you're second tier or something. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying, because yeah, but that's how people take it. Like, oh, so basically you're saying if there's no men available, then you'll date a woman. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if the right woman comes along and catches my eye, like, and everything happens organically, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, like, why would I turn that down? If everything aligns the way that it's supposed to, like, why would I turn that down? I wouldn't. And I've had a situation like that. So, I think that I fit more in that category than I would as.
Honestly, the way you describe it, I feel as if I probably fit more in that category as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and I've talked to I've talked to a lot of people who do, but I've also talked to a lot of people that's like, no, I'm out here, I'm trying, it's very equal. Like, it's a very equal playing field for everyone. So, do you think, and I bring that up because I want to know, again, it's been like 18, 19 years since I kind of found myself, like, do you think that over the next, 15, 16, 18 years or whatever, do you think that there's a possibility that this will ever change for you? Because you know how people will say, oh, you're going through a phase, or or oh, you'll grow out of it. And sometimes you'll see people who kind of do, but do they? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking to myself, looking back 18 years ago, I'm like, I really kind of still feel the same exact way that I did then. Like, now, I mean, yeah, I may identify a little bit different, but I don't really think nothing has changed for me.
That's a good question. I really can't say, because only thing I've done with a girl is kiss. I haven't had sex with a girl yet, or dated a girl yet, or anything of that nature. So, not saying, sex is the main thing I'm going for, or dating or anything like that, but I honestly can't say. I feel as if, when I do decide to date a girl and things are going, like I said, organically, then yeah, if I, decide to date a dude and things are going organically, then yeah. I honestly cannot say. I feel as if right now, since I recently just came out like 2 months ago, So I'm still trying to, get the ins and outs of everything.
Got you.
But I honestly cannot say. That's a good question though.
Mm-hmm. So do you so so since it's been such a short period of time since you've, kind of come full circle with this, are you a little bit afraid that once when while you're out here dating after, Dorona get the hell up out of here, and you're out here dating, be it a male or a female, and you tell them that you're bisexual, do you fear them not wanting to date you? Like, and how would you handle that situation?
Um,
Or how would you
this
feel
is funny.
about them? How would you feel about them feeling that way?
This is kind of funny because I have had, I'm getting to know dudes more than I am females, and I do tell them that I'm bisexual, and the first thing that comes to their mind is like, oh, we could be down for a threesome. Nigga, no.
Oh, yeah, that's always the first. That's always the first.
No, Negro, we're not doing that. But the dudes that I have told, they're cool with it. You know what I'm saying? So right now, there's nothing serious. We're just getting to know each other. So, right, our main thing is just open communication. With the females, though, that could be tricky because I remember seeing this big thing on Twitter not too long ago about how some lesbians were saying that they would never date a woman that's bisexual because they don't know she flips back and forth and this and this and that. So I feel as if men know, because honestly, some men are more attracted to bisexual women than they are regular women. I feel as if that's just my personal opinion. But when it comes to females, I think I have more of a issue with that because I feel as if I do meet a girl and I do tell her that I'm bisexual, and she was like, well, how do I not know if something goes wrong with me and you're gonna just share me with a dude? So I feel as if I have more trouble with the females more than I do with the males.
Yeah. Yep, that sounds about right. That's not, especially for, and I only know, again, because I've known so many lesbian women, and yeah, there are some lesbian women that are okay with dating bisexual women. I mean, they understand, they get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why you wouldn't get it, but yeah, they get it. But yeah, there are some that are just like, nah, I can't. And I guess I don't understand why, because if you guys are dating and if you guys are in a relationship and it's a monogamous relationship, like what's the issue? Like, I mean, if y'all break up and you decide that you want to go date a dude now, like, what does that have to do with them? But whatever. But yeah, that sounds right.
With me, I'm a one woman person. So whoever I'm with, if I'm with a girl, my main focus is you. I'm not gonna look at nobody else. Nobody else matters but you.
Right.
And vice versa. But if we break up, then of course I'm going to be looking everywhere because it's an open playing field. But if I'm with the person, I'm going to be looking at that person. Like, I'm with that person. I'm gonna claim you as you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend, or whatever.
Right.
I don't have Roman eyes unless you have Roman eyes, and that's when I have Roman eyes, and we might as well just break up by then.
I feel it, girl. So before we get out of here, I want to kind of have one more small discussion, or kind of ask you a question or whatever. So we talked about you talked about how it was like a weight lifted off of your shoulders once you decided to kind of come to grips with yourself and then go public with your sexuality. And I just wanted to know, maybe I kind of just want you to tell our listeners what you feel like is important about honesty, first of all, with yourself, or like being honest with yourself when it comes to your sexuality. Like, how do you, I'm trying to figure out how to ask the damn question. Why is it important? Why is it so important? Yeah.
Why is it important? Okay. I feel as if it's important because you can't tell people, I can't even say that. Um, your confidence and your self-esteem is the first thing that people see before you even like tell them your name. And for years I've dealt with my confidence and self-esteem going up and down like a damn roller coaster. And I feel as if with me being more honest with myself before I even told other people, like I had to be honest with myself, like, okay, Shakana, you like females and that's okay. Like nobody, if somebody judges you because of that, then they don't need to be in your circle or your crew. I feel as if that alone just brought my confidence like not skyrocket, but up than what it was before. And I feel as if what like if you are gay, bisexual, transgender, whatever you are in life, I feel as if you have to be completely and brutally honest with yourself before you could tell anybody, because that you it's plus on top of that you live with yourself. People don't live with you, you live with yourself. So if you're lying every other 5 minutes that, oh, this isn't me, this isn't me, like your confidence is going to show it to where, all right, well, this person doesn't have self-esteem, doesn't have self-esteem in themselves. I don't know what's going on with that person, but I feel as if, okay, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but
No,
to
you're
make a long
fine.
story
You're
short,
fine. You're fine.
I feel as if you have to be confident within yourself, no matter what the situation is, no matter what you're going through. As long as you have confidence within yourself, and as long as you know who you are within yourself, and you don't give two flying fucks what the next person have to say about you, then you will walking in your purpose. You will walking in. This is why I am here, and this is why I was put on this earth to do. So I feel as if, like I said, with me, I've been battling with my self esteem since my first real relationship when I was like in high school, and that was 10 years ago. And I'm still and like I've been in relationships, but nothing serious as of that one. And I was still battling with my confidence in and out because that relationship was very emotional and mental. So, and another reason why I hid it for so long is because I was in a relationship, and because he didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't like the fact of, he was very religious. So he didn't, and his mom and dad was very religious. So they were totally against, homosexuality and stuff like that. So that's another reason why I kept it in for so long. But I feel as if once I told myself, this is me, I'm going to stand in my truth, I'm going to live in my truth, telling other people wasn't nothing. Telling other people like, hey, I'm bisexual, this will let you know. And if they said, okay, cool, we gonna rock with it, you still my dog, all right, bet. Or, hey, no, I don't think I can rock with you like that no more. All right, cool, nice knowing you, bye.
Right.
So I feel as if for anybody that's listening, whether you're dealing with, your sexuality or whatever you're dealing with, be true within yourself first, and stand your ground. Like nobody's going to tell me what I am not. Because there's a lot of people that will tell you, no, you're not bisexual, you're just going through a phase. No, if I tell you I'm something, then that's what I am.
Yes, girl.
So,
And it's crazy
that's how I feel.
because every time I say exactly what you just said, or every time I hear someone else say it, it's as just as powerful as the first time. It's like you have to live for you. And just to piggyback off of what you said, another thing too is you can't contribute to anybody else's happiness if you're not happy first.
Speaks facts, straight facts.
And you can't receive. There's people out there, and I mean, we live in a cruel ass world, but there literally are people out here that are trying to love you one way or another. Not necessarily romantically, but there are people out here that are trying to love you and that are trying to give you positive energy and are trying to contribute to your happiness one way or another. But you will never ever be able to feel it at its highest level because you have not been honest with yourself yet.
You hitting the chord. Boy, you hitting the chord.
I mean,
oh Lord, you hitting the chord.
And I know this because of because of the things that I've been through in life. And I told myself, I'm not going to listen. I'm not doing what you want me to do because you want me to do it. I'm not wearing my hair a certain way because this is what the trend is and everybody likes it. Like, I'm gonna wear my shit nappy as hell the way that I've been wearing it. I'm not going to I'm not going to, I do be trying to work out real hard, but I'm not gonna kill myself in the gym because you want me to. I'm gonna do that because I want to, and that's what's going to ultimately make me happy when I meet my fitness goals. Like, it's like I have to make sure that I'm focusing on my happiness. If I am to ever get married or whoever I date or whatever, that ain't got nothing to do with nobody else but me and that person. So, and then when me and that person get together, and if something happens, between us and we're not on the same page, I'm okay with working on things. I'm okay with, giving second chances, all that type of stuff. But I'm not going to stay anywhere that makes me unhappy. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it all comes full circle in being honest with yourself. And then two, you never want to hurt anybody else when you can avoid it. So why would you hide who you are? When you get into these relationships and friendships and things of that nature, it's like you want to be close enough to a person where you can be transparent with them. Right. So you don't, just like you said, you were in a relationship and you couldn't say anything because, you already knew that they were 100% against it. So it's like you never really, but then you have the people who they may not be against it, but they still don't know who you are. Like, that's not fair to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to just get in this relationship and let them find out one way or another that I'm, whatever it is I identify as. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that it's your duty and it lifts those burdens because sometimes, especially early on, I can't even say early on because like I said, it's been like 18 years for me. Sometimes I still get butterflies talking about it, or if someone asks me, if I've ever been with a girl, like, sometimes I still I'm like, man, am I gonna tell y'all this? Are y'all gonna side eye me? But then real quick, like 2.2 seconds later, I'm like, man, whatever, they asked, I'm gonna tell them. So I think that being able to live that way just makes things easier for you. And it's not that we're trying to, be rude or push anything on anybody or anything like that. But, I'm not walking through the streets, with a big, I ain't got no big ass rainbow flag on my car or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just living day to day, and when if it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And if I'm dealing with somebody exclusively, then I feel like I have the obligation to let them know that. Is basically what I'm saying. So that's why I feel like it's just very it's important to be honest with yourself, so that you can be honest with all of the things that make you who you are.
Yeah, my thing is, I feel as if, like, you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself first.
You cannot.
And you have to figure that. And that was my struggle. I haven't been loving myself. How, like, I've been wanting the validation of other people to love me, to tell me they love me and reassure and stuff like that. But I've been wanting therapy for years, and I recently just, found a therapist yesterday, and my first session with her is on Monday. So I'm getting back to finding, and that's when I just recorded an episode called Within Your with Peace Within You that will be out Saturday, by the way. And I just found a counselor because I feel as if my peace is still fucked up from the first relationship, and like I said, that was almost 10 years ago. Yeah. But I was so still pressed and so damaged from that relationship that I couldn't let, positive things come in my life because of that. So I've been letting negative things, stuff that I'm used to, fill me up. And that was only bringing me down even more. So I feel as if you have to love yourself and have to have confidence within you before anybody else, whoever you're supposed to be with, can come into your life and bring your peace to, like, you, if you're at 1,000 right now, to bring in like 10,000.
Sis, you have such a beautiful soul. I am so glad that you agreed to come on my podcast and that we were able to hash out a time to get you on. And I will definitely have to have you back again. Thank you so much. So, but before we leave, I want you to let everybody know. I want you to tell a little bit about your podcast, and then I want you to let everybody know how they can reach you on social media and how they can listen to your podcast. And if you have anything else you want to plug, go for it.
Okay, well, my podcast is once again called Brutal Honesty with Kay Reenea. We will be 1 year in May 27th will be actually my 1 year anniversary, and I'm super excited about that. I have recently right now over 1,500 plays. And honestly, I talk about everything under the sun, from sports to books to relationships. My major, one of my most played listens right now episode is actually my first episode from season 1, which is dating in the small ass city. I talk about relationships, talk about sex, I talk about basically everything under the sun, but we talk about it in a brutally honest platform. I don't hold anything back. I tell it like it is. If you like it, cool. If you don't, oh well. If you think I'm talking about you, 9 times out of 10, I probably am. So that's what my podcast is about. I've been posting it on Sundays, but like I said, now that I'm free, I kind of been posting it most likely any time of the week at midnight. I am on Apple Podcasts. I'm on Google Podcasts. I'm on Stitcher. I am on Spotify. And I believe I am on Podbean as well. I do have 2 platforms for my podcast. Instagram is brutal honesty _ Kay Reenea. And Twitter is BH with Kay Reenea. My personal Instagram and Twitter is Kay _ Reenea, which is KAY _ REENEA. I am very open, down to earth person to talk to. I talk to you about anything. I'm open to any conversations you guys want to have. I appreciate you for letting me do my first interview ever.
No problem.
And definitely have to have you on Brutal Honesty soon.
Yes, I will pull up. And
definitely have to show.
And you would, thank you. And you would definitely, I'll definitely have to get you back. Like I said, everything she just said about her show is the truth. She is a true Aries. I can sit and listen to her. I listened to probably about 3 or 4 episodes just today. And her, even with the guests, like your friends and stuff, you guys have great chemistry. I like listening to people who are it's like they're having a conversation by themselves, and just, nobody is in the room, and that's kind of how you and your guests talk. So I like that.
Yeah, like I said, I've known them for years. So yeah. Like I said, what we talk about is not even half of the stuff that we talk about.
Right. I feel like
we talk about stuff under the sun.
Yes.
So yeah, those are my dudes. Those are my peoples. I love them to date.
It always makes for good content. So, but anyways, thanks for being on. I'm going to put all of her information in the show notes, and I want to thank everybody for coming back and listening to the Lit Life podcast. If this is your first time, welcome. I hope this is not your last time. And until you hear me again, peace.